Hey everyone, this is Chris and Sandy Bent with the Chris and Sandy Show. We get up close and personal with some amazing guests throughout the entertainment industry. And today, like I say on every episode, we got a great one for you. In fact, we got a legend on.
Oh, we do. Yes, we're so excited to have him on today. We have H. Jack Williams. He is a singer songwriter who has worked with some of the biggest names in folk, rock, and country music, such as The Who, Lynyrd Skynyrd, Gregg Allman, the Oakridge Boys, Montgomery Gentry, Steve Earle, Jeff Bates, Molly Hatchet, and many, many more. He wrote his latest single, One More Day, with Kevin Costner and guest guitarist Gary Rossington from Lynyrd Skynyrd. The video for the track was recently shot in Los Angeles at Kevin Costner's home and will be released this spring.
And we're excited to have you on the show. So welcome to the
Yes,
show.
welcome.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
It's definitely our pleasure.
Yes.
I always like to start the show out kind of same way. The last 2 years have been rough for the entertainment world.
Oh, very.
And I always want to talk about that a little bit. How has COVID affected what you do, and what have you done to kind of maneuver through it?
Well, my whole story is it's been good for me because if it wasn't for COVID, I wouldn't have an album. So,
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I think for me and for some of my friends too, I think COVID got us to get even more creative than we were. I
Yeah.
mean,
Right.
when COVID first hit, no one really knew what to do. I mean, we had the kids at home in one
Yes.
room, my wife in another room working, and all I did was sit on a couch and watch Netflix for the first 6 weeks, and it was like
Right.
I can't keep doing this.
Mm-hmm.
So it made me come back in here into my studio and sit down, and then I just started. I wrote something, and I called up my producer, and I said, let's do an album. And thank God for that. I mean, and I think COVID for me, because I don't do that much live stuff. I hadn't been doing that much live stuff. So I think
Yeah.
that for me, it just put me in this room and made me stay here.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. Mm-hmm.
That's like for us, we launched this show January of 2020. So a couple months
Yes.
before COVID. I remember thinking our original plan was 100 interviews our first year. Thought if we could do that, be a great foundation.
Yes.
And then
Yes.
COVID happens. And I'm sitting there watching everything get shut down. I'm like, well, we can't change it. So we might as well run with this because a lot of people like you are going to need a place to chat and we're going to give it to you. And because of that, we end up doing over 300 interviews first year and we're over 500 now.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing. Where are you at?
Savannah, Georgia.
Yep. Savannah,
Cool. What a
Georgia.
nice place to be from.
But we're going to be moving out to Nashville probably next year.
Yeah.
Excellent.
In fact, we're going, the 19th of this month, we're going to be spending a week out there in Nashville.
Oh, we're so excited.
Really? The 19th of May? April?
No, April. Yeah.
April. Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, make sure you get Gail and them and let you know where I'm at. Maybe you guys can come out and see my farm.
That'd
Oh,
be
we
great.
would love that. Sounds
We've got
good.
about
We'll
15,
let you
18
know.
baby goats right now you can come out and pet.
Oh,
Our
our
kids will love that.
3-year-old, our 2 kids would love that. Yeah.
Oh, it's like
We
a
have
petting
3
zoo out here.
kids.
You have to bring them out.
Oh, we'll
and,
do it.
and you'll get to meet our 10-year-old in a little while because we always bring
Mhm.
him on and ask a few questions.
Yes.
Oh, cool.
So as you know, a lot of people, they see the glory in what you do, but they don't see the grind, the sacrifice, the tears.
Mhm.
And I usually go with this a little bit further in, but I want to go here now because I love a quote that you said. You said that your career has been luck, talent, and tenacity. Man, is that not true about anything within a career in
Mhm.
entertainment?
Yes, that's true. It's yeah, it's 10% luck and about 90% hard work
Yeah.
and sacrifice. I
So tell
also
us
like
about
I
that
also
side of it. Tell us some
pardon me?
stories of what you had to go through at the very beginning to get to where you are. Because I think a lot of people sometimes they only see the glory, but they don't really see what it really takes.
Um
And you got some crazy stories.
well I do, but I think one of the most important things that and somebody reminded me of it yesterday. I was talking about my book and somebody that I had let read a little bit of it um reminded me of Richie Havens when I was first getting started. he said, always remember that you have to live by the 3 P's. And I've stuck by that. And that's perseverance, patience, and persistence. And
Hmm.
I think and that's been, and I pretty much wore those around my neck all my life, because um when patience wasn't working, then perseverance kicked in. And when
Right.
that wasn't working, then persistence kicked in. And so one of those 3 things always, if I'm after something, or if I'm chasing something, or if I'm trying to make something happen, one of those things ends up working for me. Maybe not all 3 of them. Maybe I fall
Yeah.
short on patience and I start going, why won't this happen? But then if I say, but be persistent, it works. But the knocks are hard. I don't think you ever, I don't care what level you're at. I don't care whether you're a beginner or whether you're Muhammad Ali. I
Mhm.
don't think
Hmm.
you ever stop getting knocks that knock you down. Um,
Yeah.
I know people that are superstars right now, and I know some of them are still getting some things that have knocked them back. So I think
Hmm.
that you never stop. You just learn how to uh, you learn how to get through them.
Yes.
Yeah, because and like even with this show, I can definitely relate because I don't care, like you said, I don't care who you are, no matter what level you are, you always want to go to that next level. It doesn't matter if you're Blake Shelton or someone just starting out, you still want to go to that next level.
Yes.
And and sometimes I get frustrated, where my patience, as you say, my patience is worn off,
Oh
but
yeah.
I'm
You're
like,
like, it's
well,
not fast enough.
it's not fast enough, but I'll keep that. I'll do another show. It's not fast enough. Okay, I'll do another show. It's not fast enough.
Yeah.
So the
Persistence.
persistence part, we just keep doing this, and here we are.
That's it. That's it. That's the thing. I mean, everybody has ambition, and I just wrote a song. We were just talking. What was the name of that song I just wrote with Lucas Hogue the other day? We just wrote a song with that exact same. I'm not gonna. I just have want to look at I can't remember the title of it. But what it
Hmm.
was, it was oh God, what was the name of it? It was exactly that. It was about when things don't go quick enough for you, and they never do. They never go quick
Right.
enough. And
Hmm.
the sooner, but the other lesson that I learned from Richie too, because Richie taught me so many things about. He got me to where I had this roadmap from him, and even though even though I fell off that roadmap so many times, at least I had something to look at. And one of the
Yeah.
other things that he taught me is that life is a series of mountains, and you go up them, and that's fun. Going up a mountain is a lot of fun, and getting to the top, most of us want to fly off, but we can't. We can't fly
Right.
off. But if we can enjoy the walk back down,
Mhm.
if
Hmm.
you can enjoy going down and getting in that little valley that you have to live in
Oh
for a
Yeah,
minute,
yeah.
before that next mountain.
and if you can enjoy that, then the whole thing, the ride can be. But that's easier said than done. I still don't like being at the bottom of a hole. So,
Yeah,
and I live
yeah,
there quite often. So it's just I think we all do as creative people. We
yeah,
all.
that's like I remember a great
Hmm.
analogy to what you just said. And it's like when you're starting out, you got this big boulder, and you're putting, with speaking of mountain, you're pushing it up this mountain, and you can't see it. There's a hill at the top, but you can't see it because the boulder is so big. So all you can do is keep pushing. You can't look back too much because then the boulder will start rolling back down. You'll lose momentum. All you
Hmm.
can do is hunker down and keep pushing, and then one day the boulder gets to the top, and you can jump on it right to the bottom until your next hill.
That's right. That's right. And that's what people. A lot of people quit. But a lot of people quit right when they get that boulder right at the hardest point, right, right,
Yeah.
right near the end of that hill, and it's like just way too hard. It's just I can't do no more, and they just let it roll them back down. And that's the end. That's it. And that's the other philosophy that I live by. Is that you're never done until you're done. I mean,
Mhm.
yeah,
Hmm.
as long as you don't say I quit, I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm going to go fishing, then you still have a chance. and 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 that's why you see people that are in their you see in the Grammys and awards, some awards, you see some people that are in their 80s that because it took them that long, and but then they got recognized for it. And it doesn't, some people get jumped on real quick and they get a head start. But um I think the ones that nail it really early in life
Mhm.
in their young 20s, I think they still have to. That was the other thing I learned, was that everybody has to pay their dues, no matter what.
Yep.
And if you come out the gate, if right out of high school you end up with a record deal or a movie deal or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and you go into it and you get this big number one thing, sooner or later you're gonna have to do some work.
Yep.
And some people they don't like that. They don't like to do the work.
The work is what separates the men from the boys, so to speak.
But the work is fun. I mean, if
Yeah.
I think the work's fun. I don't I like the work. I mean, yeah, I mean, I like to work like a surgeon likes operating on a patient. I mean, it's the same
Yeah.
thing. I like to work, so I don't like the only thing
And
I've ever,
you've done some out of the box things in your career too.
yeah.
Like knocking on Richie Havens'
Hotel,
hotel door. Tell us that
till they
story.
answered.
Oh, back in those days, I had a friend. I had met Alex Cooley. Alex Cooley in Atlanta was the biggest rock promoter in the Southeast, and
Mhm.
he did everything, and he had a bunch of places in Atlanta, and he liked me, and he liked my, I guess he liked my attitude. I wasn't a very good songwriter back then, so he couldn't have really liked my songwriting, but he must have believed I had talent, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
he gave me this backstage pass that was good forever. And he said, as long as you handle yourself right backstage and you use good
Sure.
manners back there, and I don't ever have anybody come to me and get that guy out of here. He said, you can. So I mean, I went to a lot of shows, and I met Richie. I wanted to meet Richie, and I met Richie at the show, and I asked him if he would listen to a couple songs, and he said, yeah, just come back I'm staying at the whatever the name of the hotel
Yeah.
was, and just mom in room such and such. It was like, whoa,
Sure.
okay, this is cool. So I went, and I waited until I saw him go in, and I knew he's in the room, so I still waited. I
Right.
figured, give the man some time. Had somebody with him, and I'm waiting, give him some time. And then I knocked on the door, and there was no answer, and that was about 11:30, 12 o'clock, I guess,
Oh,
maybe.
wow.
And then I waited a little bit longer, and still no answer. And I don't think I was knocking very hard. I think I was just like tapping, tap, 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 tap,
Yeah.
here. And I could hear music in the room. I could hear laughing. I knew they were in there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think finally about 2:30, quarter to 3 in the morning, he opened the door and he said, "You sure are persistent."
Oh, wow.
That started the friendship that lasted until he died. And he took me under his wing and took me to New York. Well, he didn't take me to New York. He had me come to New York, and he helped me
Mm-hmm.
get my first song published, and then he published me, and then he helped put a band together for me, and then I went on tour with him, and he just taught me a lot about what being how to be an artist and how to be a person and how to
Yeah.
treat
Oh, wow.
Wow. I love that story because I love stories.
We do. Well,
Now, you've been bold through your career. Another bold moment that I love is you borrowed $50 and went to Nashville. Tell us that. I mean, because again, it's one of them things to where people want to do that, but you actually did it.
Nashville.
Yeah. Where you just up and went with $50.
Well, you have to there's a bit before that, because
yeah.
you have to know that I had already been in England for 5 years, and I had already I'd already worked with Uriah Heep, and I had songs on Gold Records, and I had already worked with, and I was good friends with Skynyrd, and I was good friends with
Right.
Ronnie Van Zant, and all that. So it was I didn't know anybody in Nashville though. You know, I was working with Dickie Betts.
Oh wow.
And Dickie said, and I said to Dickie, I said, I don't know where I need to go.
Yeah.
I don't know if I should go back to England or if I should go to New York or if I should go to LA. And I never even said Nashville. And he
Oh,
said,
wow.
you're a songwriter. You need to go to Nashville. And I went,
Wow.
Ah, yes, a songwriter city.
and so I did. And Nashville wasn't nice to me at all. Nashville hated me. I got here
Oh,
and
man.
I had Dickie's management. They actually set up all these meetings with all these big publishers for me. And it looked like it was going to be a shoe-in. You know? And I walked in with this stuff that I'd written over there in England and all these rock stuff, and they just threw me out. I mean, it was like,
No.
what is this crap? I mean, really. I mean, seriously, they wouldn't acknowledge it was songwriting. They wouldn't acknowledge that I was a songwriter. They seriously just said that they didn't call that music. I mean, and they really, and looking back now and knowing the people that I know back then and knowing how they thought, they believe that. I really honestly believe that now that they really believe that what I came to town with was rotten stuff. And I just think that they really believed that. And so, but they gave me a chance. You know, I mean, it was the Oakridge Boys, Dwayne Allen,
Oh,
that,
yes.
that told Noel Fox to sign me. He said, no, I think you need to sign him and just, and so I was pretty much said, shut your mouth, play your guitar, because you do really cool things on a guitar, and let our writers write the words until you learn how to write words the Nashville way.
Wow.
And
Wow.
and it worked, and I learned, and I listened, and I learned, and Noel told me, he said, you probably hate me now, and you probably hate that this is going on. He said, but if you learn how to write words the Nashville way, and then 20, 30 years from now, you'll have what we taught you. You'll have what you learned in England, and you'll throw that all up in a pot and stir it up, and then you'll have yourself. And he was right. I still incorporate. I don't sit down and write Nashville songs, but I do. I mean, I know there's Nashville lyric crafting in everything I write, and at some point.
So tell us about walking up to the Who's tour bus too. That was an interesting story.
Well, that's another thing we were talking about yesterday. I think that I was on my way to work. I was a chef.
Okay, yeah.
All my life, I don't mean at that time I wasn't a chef. I was a sous chef, but I was working in a restaurant in Atlanta called the Abbey, and I was all dressed up in my chef's clothes, and I had a wife and a 1-year-old baby, and and I had a cassette tape with 3 songs on it from a little demo I'd done in the car. And I was on my way to work, and I saw these guys standing outside the hotel room in tour jackets, and I pulled in and it said The Who on the back of them. So I just walked up to the first guy I saw, and I said, what's the chances of meeting Roger Daltrey?
Oh, wow.
And he said, slim and none.
Ooh.
And I went, okay. And I turned around and walked, and he said, wait a minute, man. Why do you want to meet Roger? And I said, I'm a songwriter. I just thought maybe I could talk. And well, wait a minute now. Wait a minute. Let me make a phone call, because Roger loves songwriters.
Oh, wow.
Ooh.
So we did. And that phone call led to the next 3 months of being on tour with the Who, and I never went back to work, and I never pretty much lost the marriage for a while. And, I mean, it was pretty much let's talk to him, get him a room, have him come to the show tonight, and I'll talk to him later. And later was 3.5 months later, and that's when they talked to me and gave me my deal. But that was the beginning of the beginning. I think that was the beginning of me doing stupid things to get places.
I love that. So
Amazing
tell us a
story.
little bit about your current project that you got going on with Kevin Costner, and how did that come to be?
Well, I don't have a project going on with Kevin. It's just that,
You did a video at his house.
well, it was on his property, to put it.
Okay.
Kevin's got a pretty good team. You know, he's got a production company. He's got a team, and then some of his
Okay.
close friends that are his team. One of them is a director. His
Yeah.
name is Mark Gillard, and he also worked with Steven Spielberg for the last 15 years, and been his editor. And Kevin, and I, and Adam Box, my producer, we wrote a song called "One More Day" that's on my record, and
Mhm.
I love that song. It's my favorite song on the record. Kevin loves it. He does it with his band,
Oh
and
wow.
I wanted to and Gary Rossington from Lynyrd Skynyrd played on it and is in the
Yeah.
video. And so we decided that we wanted to make a video of this. And
Sure.
so I went out to LA and we shot some of it out in Ojai. And then most of it was on Kevin's property down on the beach.
Wow.
Mhm.
Right by his house, he's got a whole section of beach, and we shot it on that property there. And so they're in the middle of editing it now. And when it's all said and done, it's going to be wonderful. Like I said, Gary Rossington is graciously said that he can stay in the video, so that's going to be nice to have a video with the original member of Lynyrd Skynyrd in it.
Oh yeah.
And I know what the video is about, and I know what the scenery is. It's going to be something to be proud of.
Awesome.
Yes.
Love that. You know, as you know, a lot of people, they see what you do, but they don't see the teams behind you. In our opinion, teams never get the love they
They don't.
deserve. On our show, they get some love. So take a few moments and just tell us about the team that helps you be who you are.
The team?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The team that I'm working with now is my favorite team. It's, as you know, it's Gail and Ben.
Yeah,
I mean,
they're
Yes,
awesome.
we love them.
I've been told for a long time, you know, as a songwriter artist, you never think about PR. You just don't. You don't, you know, I
Right.
mean, you think about publishers, you think about getting cuts, you think about movies, you think about things like that, but you never think about that. And
Mhm.
a while back, one of the composers that I worked with in Wales, John Hardy, he said, you know, you need a PR team. He said, because you've done so much,
Wow.
and people need to know about that so that you can maybe make another step forward. And so, as like anything else in life, I mean, everything, as you know, I mean, you start with one publisher, you end up with another one, and you finally end up with the right one. You start with one wife, and you end up with the right one. You know,
She's my second marriage, and we've been married almost 20 years.
Yeah, so that was true for you.
we've been married almost 20 years. Anyway, you start out and you find, and it takes you a while to find the right team, like you said, but when you do find the right team, I wouldn't be here doing this if it wasn't for Gail and Ben. So I'm got to give them credit for what I'm doing right now. But also, you know, my wife has been really supportive. There's been times, day before yesterday, I wanted to quit. You know what I mean? There's times every day I want to quit.
She has to knock me off a cliff.
Oh yes, sometimes.
But then there's people that you work with in my publishers, you know, that they're always pushing you to write something. They believe. At this point in my life, it's not about it's about believing in what and who I am and what I'm doing. It matters to me.
Yeah.
Whether it's about my book or whether it's about my songs or whether it's about getting songs and movies or whatever. It's about believing in what I'm about. It doesn't, and none of that other stuff really matters to me anymore. What really matters is my soul. If somebody gets that, then that's a team player. And I wish I had known that 30 years ago, because if I'd known that 30 years ago or 40 years ago, I would have listened to Richie Havens a lot more, and I would have never done some of the stupid things I did back then, you know. But You live and you learn.
Yes.
You know, speaking of teams, as I told you earlier, we have a third co-host, our 10-year-old. So Sandy's going to go get him real quick.
Yes, his name is Christopher. I'll get him.
And our little 3-year-old, later, when she gets older, she'll be plugged in the show too, because we keep it a family affair here.
Really? Do you do this every day of the week?
Pretty much. It's, you know, we've done over 500 in the last 2 years shows. And, you know, right now it's slowed down. My dad passed away March 1st. So we've had to slow the show down some to take care of that business. Thank you. And so slowed down. And then, you know, I think either this week or next week will be the last shows for about 3 weeks, because then we're heading to Nashville for a week and heading to Kentucky for 5 days after that. So I'm going to go enjoy a few weeks, and then we're going to come back and hunker down and run hard again.
Is it just a vacation?
Vacation. Plus I'm meeting with some business stuff too. So it's kind of, we're mixing the two.
Where are you going in Kentucky?
Kentucky will be see her mom. She lives in Feds Creek, Kentucky, which is an outskirt of Pikeville. Most people don't even know where Pikeville is, but
yeah.
But yeah, I remember when Sandy and I met. We met online back in 2002, and when I went up there to go see her, she had me follow her to her parents' house, and I'll never forget going down this road. And I'm like, where is she taking me? Because it was like a 1-lane road. If there was a car coming, one of you had to back in a driveway to let the other car. I mean, it was like in the boonies, back in the hollers. Right.
Well, I see somebody else there.
Huh? What did he say?
Okay.
Oh, hi,
Jack.
Jack Williams.
Just Jack.
So, what's your favorite food?
My favorite food?
Yes.
Oh, that would be Italian.
Ooh.
Yes,
'Cause what's
Italian
yours?
food is my favorite.
My favorite food is pizza.
Well, that's Italian.
Yep.
Yep, I like pizza. I like Italian meatballs.
Ah.
You like spaghetti too, don't you?
He loves spaghetti too.
Yeah, I do.
I started to say she. I'm thinking of Caitlin here. He's gonna get me.
Okay, so what's your favorite TV show and movie?
Well, I think probably my favorite movie right now that I've seen this year is the new James Bond movie, No Time to Die.
Mhm.
And my favorite, what was the other question you asked? A TV show?
TV show.
Oh, that would be probably my all-time favorite TV show is a show that your mom and dad wouldn't let you watch, but it's a great show called Justified.
Yeah.
Because what's yours?
My favorite TV show is SpongeBob, and my favorite movie is The Minions.
The Minions.
Yeah, our little 3-year-old loves all the Minions too. I mean, they built a really strong brand. I tell you,
those movies are great.
yeah, that's like,
it's fantastic.
yeah, we watched the Minion movies over and over and over. We probably watched that thing 1,000 times, ain't
Oh,
it?
yeah.
And it's always got to be Despicable Me too.
Yes, that's right. Of course it does. What's your favorite subject in school?
Well, you like the best.
Reading.
Attaboy. That's a good subject. That was mine too.
Oh wow! And see, he's a songwriter now.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's
Bye, thanks.
Bye. Good to meet you.
Yeah, he's been on almost every. He's not been on every episode. 'Cause every now and then you have where the guest has something happen last minute and they have to leave early, because we always have him come on closer to the end. So sometimes he's not on, but for the most part, he's been on almost, because we
probably
homeschool him and all that.
98% of the shows he's been on. Yep.
He's cute.
So if you could co-write with any artist, dead or alive, who would it be?
Don Henley.
Wow.
Oh,
that's a good
that's a great one.
easy. That's easy.
one. Now, this probably has 1,000 answers to this, but what's a song that you've heard that you wish you wrote?
Lion Eyes.
Oh, that's a great one. I love that
It's
one.
cool that you got these like right there, because a lot of people, they have to think for a second,
Big
but
and
you're
the
like
judges.
right on it.
Great answer.
I know what moves me, and that guy's songwriting has always been, in my opinion, he's the best.
Oh, definitely.
So where do you want to be in 5 years? I know you've been a long ways with songwriting and all that and singing, But where do you still want to be in 5 years?
Oh, I'd like to probably be in a movie or something,
Yeah.
I like
or
that.
on a TV show doing something.
Sure.
I would like to do a little acting somewhere along the line.
All right.
Somewhere along the line, I'd like to get in front of that camera.
Yeah.
Let's look further down the road. Let's say 15 years down the road, and you're still doing this, and you're bigger than ever. What do you hope you never forget?
My humility,
Ooh,
my
that's
humbleness.
good. Yes.
Wow, love that.
Right. And what are some sources of inspiration for you?
God, probably, because that keeps me on a straight line. I would
Yeah.
say that's a big source of inspiration for keeping me on a straight line. And my son and my wife. I think my wife and son, because they keep you grounded and keep you straight. But
Yeah.
when it comes to trying for inspiration for songs and stuff, as long as I have the well inside of me that I have now, and the longer I live, the deeper that well is going to go. So I'll
Right.
hopefully I just keep getting better and keep finding more and more new things, because I think that's what keeps you alive. I think
Yeah.
what keeps you
It does.
alive is finding something new every day, or something, some little thing that makes you go, like doing this. I've never done this before with you, so this is great.
Yeah.
Love that.
Love that. And what would you like for your legacy to be in music and entertainment? What do you want to be known and remembered for?
Writing an honest song.
Oh,
That's powerful. Love that.
3 chords and the truth, right?
Something like that, yeah.
Yes.
So, a lot of people would ask, when did you know you wanted to be a musician? I always go deeper than that. When did it click for you, that moment where you thought, this could be a career for me?
I would probably say when Ken Hensley offered to take me to England and work for him and Uriah.
Wow.
That was probably it, because up to that point, I was fishing and fishing and fishing, and things were clicking here and there. And I was writing with some people. I'd written with Gary Rossington from REO Speedwagon, and I had worked with quite a few of the America's bigger bands and stuff like that. But no one, I mean, to me, to say, pick up the phone and call me up and say, you want to come to England and we'll pay you, and we got you a
Wow.
house, we got you a car, and you're going to get to work with us, and we're going to and Alvin Lee lives right down the street. You're going to get to work with him, and George Harrison lives right over there, and he comes over here, and you're going to, I think at that point, I think I said, this is what I want to do the rest of my life.
Wow.
Mhm.
And then
Love that.
every time I met somebody, it just still to this day, I meet somebody new that is bigger than me and way up there, and I meet them and I get a chance to work with them. It's just another indicator that I'm where I'm supposed to be.
Exactly.
Mhm.
I love your philosophy on life. It really, again, that's why I love to do this show, because, we've done over 500. You never know where the show's going to go.
We get to hear
We
so
get to hear
many
so many
amazing
great
stories.
stories, and yours is one of them.
Mhm.
So as we close out, what advice would you give somebody who wants to do what you do?
That's easy. Just believe in yourself. Don't take no for an answer, and don't let nobody tell you can't do something. I mean, if somebody says you can't do something, do it anyway.
Yes.
That's
within reason. I mean,
that's this show in a nutshell. We were told this wouldn't work.
Yeah, that we couldn't do it, but we're here 500 something shows later.
And that's like you're talking about the do it anyway and stuff, and people say no. Sometimes I think PR companies get a little upset with me and managers, because I will email the people every month,
Persistence.
And every month it's like clockwork. I got a handful of people that I will email every month. And then like we had one guest that came on that I emailed like 6 months in a row. And the manager was like, look, this person doesn't do long interviews. Even if I could do this for you, it had to be 5 or 10 minutes. That'd be max. And of course I didn't hear the 5 minutes. I was like, okay, we'll take 10 minutes. And he says, okay. So I think the manager was like, let me get them off my chair, out of my emails. So I think we got that person all because I kept emailing.
Well, just real quick. I mean, let's just say this. They told Tom Brady in the draft when he was first drafted, they told him that he was too skinny, he was too small, and he wasn't fast enough to be in the NFL.
Wow. One of the greatest of all time. He turned out to be.
7 Super Bowls later.
Yes.
They told Elvis Presley that he needed to go back and stay with his trucking job.
Oh, wow.
So, if you listen to what Hank Williams, he couldn't sing. I mean, if you listen to what everybody told you, and that's not a good idea. You shouldn't do that. Well, then you would never go anywhere.
Yeah. Even in marriage. I mean, because we met online in 2002 when it was taboo back then, and like it is now.
Yeah, that was
everybody's like, oh, that'll never work. And here it is. All the people that told us that are all divorced and all that multiple times, and we're still hanging in there.
20 years later, yes.
That's great. That's great.
So tell everybody how they can find you.
Yes.
HJackWilliamsmusic.com.
Love that. And we really enjoyed having you on the show today. We definitely look forward to having you back down the road.
Oh, I look forward to it. Hopefully we can.
And we'll meet you in Nashville when we're up there.
Oh yes, we'll reach out.
I'm serious about that. I'm not kidding. Get Gail and them to stay in touch with them, and when you come up here, let us know. We'll have you bring the kids out here to see the goats and everything.
That'll be great.
That sounds great.
We appreciate it.
We've got a farm. I mean, there's more than that, but the baby goats seem to be the draw right now.
Oh, they'll love that.
They'll love it.
Thank you so much for your time today. We appreciate it.